Okay, so it's 6:45 on the 28th, Friday. It's so hard to keep up with days and time, and I saw a video of people talking about that too. It's like, I'm not the only one. It's like, what? What day is it? Like, what time is it? It's so weird. And but you think about like the cycles and stuff and the movement is like, I kind of feel like we want time to speed up right now to propel us into the new world, propel us where we're going. Because, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot to get a tissue again. Hold on a second. I'm just going to grab one. Hold on. I could have started over, but why bother? So, anyways, so I kind of feel like, and we would want it to kind of be propelling us faster and moving us faster out of all of this chaos and interference and stuff. I had so many things on my mind. Hold on a second. I have my nose. But I feel so much better. I'm so thankful. So, because when I heard people saying this was lasting 2 and 3 weeks, I was like, oh my God. But I feel like I'm definitely getting better and better. Okay. Gotta organize my thoughts. Last night, or this morning, I kept telling him, go back to sleep, go back to sleep. So we didn't get up till I woke up. So I got to wake myself up at like 5:45. And so got up much later than usual. Oh, so nice. And sometimes I'll try that and there's too much resistance. But this morning it worked. And I was in such a dreamscape. Oh my God. The dreams were insane. I was going all over the place. I was in castles. I was in other worlds. I was all over the place, interacting with all sorts of different people. Oh, yeah, I did go through that. Was like going through a portal. Oh, yeah, because I said that before. When you enter a doorway in a dream, and I went into, because it was this weirdest, all of the dreams were so weird, but there was one point where there was this like compartment or something, and then I opened, I said, there's another place in there. And then there was a window above, and then we went through it and went in, and it was like a whole new world. And it was like being in Ireland in the 1600s or something. It was wild. It was so wild. So anyways, and I was like enjoying my dreams last night. I was just going all over the place. I was having all these interactions with all these different people and stuff. It was really fun. And so I did not want to wake up from that because I got woke up a few times. Different times. Somebody had to go out and go potty. Stella needed medicine several times through the night. Even Ruthie got up in the middle of the night and wanted to go out and go potty. So anyways, it's so trippy when she sits here and stares up. And right now she's staring up there. She does this all the time. I don't know. There's something up there watching us, I guess. So I don't know what it is. But anyways, there were so many noises too yesterday out there. I was like, fuck, I just gotta accept it. I mean, something could come busting through that wall at any moment. It's just, that's the way it is in this world. We've just gotta get with it. So anyways, I was all out in my dreamscape last night, going all over the place, and it was exciting adventures all over. And so I didn't want to get up, and then I got them to stay, kept getting them to go back to sleep until 5:45, and then I woke up, and then I was like, man. So I feel like I got a lot better sleep last night too. And then so let me think. Oh, because there was a couple things I want to talk about. So I was looking at videos, and then I had seen people talking about time and stuff and how it's so off. Like, people are like, what the hell is going on? And another thing too, it's funny when you hear people start talking about something you caught on to a long while ago, because I don't know, it seems like it was way back in 2020 or something. It seems like it was before that. It seems like, way back. Even when, you know, like, when you're a kid and you start seeing the sun, the moon out in the daytime, it's like, well, how is that possible? And so it clicks something in your brain of like, okay, something's off, something's weird. Why would that be? How could that be? It should be below us, not above us. And so, but everything in their world just was continually going to fall apart because it was all built on a lie. And you cannot, lies can't stay lies. It's like impossible. And it's like the lies always come to the surface. The truth always comes out. And so the daylight savings time, because it was years ago, I was saying to somebody, how is it that it changes by 1 hour, but in our reality, it's like 4 hours difference? Because how does it go from being light at 9 o'clock at night until they do that, and then all of a sudden it's dark at 4:30 in the afternoon? And it's like, how is that possible? It's 1 hour change. And so I'm seeing all these people talking about that. Is like, how is that possible? How is that possible? And it's like, yeah, how is that possible? Like, there's something so manipulative about our reality. And I have said several times about that we are all in different realities. And that is what we have to kind of reach this understanding, kind of, because that is what the truth is of all things. It's all just realities. It's like changing the channels on the TV. It's different shows. It's not like we're not all connected like they try and make it. They try and create a world underneath an umbrella that connect us all, but we're all separate realities. And some realities are you know, in there, and we have gotten mixed up into different ones. We have gone and, you know, traveled through space and time to go into other realities, because the portal system that they create for us to move through is controlled by them with their airplanes and shit like that. So they you know, in order to keep us under a bigger thing, kind of. So we're not just like, you know, just America is in its own little bubble, and then they tell us we're all there is. So they make it bigger, but it kind of is, it seems like it was, they would have probably done better to try and keep us more separated, really, kind of. But they wanted to pair us up against each other. They wanted us to, it's like greed. It's like more. It's like they wanted more. And so, and they've added on, because America is an add-on, I think. I swear to God, I don't think, I was thinking about this, and I think the 1800s, and so I think that there's a lot of stuff that they told us isn't real. I swear to God, I don't think it's real. And because just like the pictures and stuff, even their shit with their fucking this what is that called, the state fair, all that stuff about the state fair, I don't know, there's something that is just, it's like, I don't you know, it's like kind of like they took pictures of these buildings and these people and told us that this state fair, but really it was just, you know, making a story about these buildings. And then I guess, I don't even know, trying to make them build themselves up as great builders or something. I don't fucking know. But I really think that I don't know when time started for this reality in America, but it definitely seems that they created or manipulated or what is that, populated it with lab babies. And then it seems that they, in their quest that they did run across other beings, and they did have to, they did, you know, battle them and stuff because it interfered with their population program, which I think white people is a big part of their population program. And I think that the reason of the white people was because the natural people, the melanin, is some kind of connection to, I've talked about this stuff before, but it just, it's like a woodpecker in my brain. And so the so they wanted to figure out how to remove the melanin, which they weren't doing it perfect, because if we go out in the sun, it activates our melanin. And so, but the melanin is, it's, to me, it's kind of like a mineral inside of the being that gives them a connection to the other side. And so it's something that connective, like a connective tissue or something. And, which, you know, like everything, like the iron in the blood, all this different stuff is, it's like a connection into the world that we really are from, the world that we really do reside in. It's, it is like the vessel being more organic or something, running on natural kind of a natural kind of process, natural fume, natural whatever, I don't know how to, but anyways, so there's stuff in, and that's why we need to also be replenishing the minerals and stuff. That's important to us. But so it seems to me that they went to create this population. I feel like that there's so many stories that we've been told that it's lies. It's just made up stories. And maybe it has happened before in the past, and they were reusing stories because they're not creators. They are, they're more, okay, so if you have a certain amount of energy and you put it all towards something, and you don't just have a whole bunch more. And so there's beings that are more of creators, and that is more of the light. They're more expansive. Then there's beings that are controllers, and they put all their energy towards control. And that's what we are in the realm of their realm, where they have the most power. They can't even move out of I mean, there's only so far they can go because of vibration, because they don't have the right kind of energies to be in the other places. So we always have an escape route. We always have a way to get away from them. And but we come into their world because, I don't know, to me it seems like our ego, it seems like that we're like, hey, I could go do that. So anyways, and I think that we are always looking for experience and exploration, and you know possibilities, and what do you do with them? It's like someone tossing you a thing of clay, and what are you going to do with it? So we have there's something inside of us that's ignited by exploration. And that's the expansion, that's the creator, that's the creative mind, that's what is of the light, that's the expansion of the universe. And so it is like the tail. Okay, so anyways, but So anyways, I've talked about this different stuff a bunch of times. But so I think that they have made the time is different times are kind of made up. And we definitely, it's not linear. It's definitely not like, you know, oh, Earth started in this time and then this happened and then this led to this and this led to this and this led to this. No, that's not at all. No. It's way more of, you know, like going from black and white TV and 4 channels into cable TV. And right now we're like in cable TV. There's a lot of different experiencers experiencing. And they wanted to keep a hold on, but they couldn't because there's too much. And that's why they started doing, I don't know, they do a lot with mind control and this edginess into compliancy, to be complicit. And then the big thing is the interference. So they create a lot of noise. So it makes it very hard to connect to yourself, because yourself would remind you of what's going on. And so they keep you disconnected from yourself. Oh, man. So you, so then they, so they keep you disconnected from yourself so that you feel lost. And when you're lost, then you begin to trust the enemy, really, basically. And so, but you don't realize it because they come wrapped in a package of caring and concern. They've always been like, well, we're doing this to help you. We have to have all these 3-letter agencies because they're there to help you. It's like, oh my God. It's kind of sad how foolish we've been for so long. And, but we had to be running the program of foolish to be able to really get the impact of what we were here to experience. And so when we were all here to experience something, you're not just here randomly, you're here for something. And that's where your own self has to connect to yourself to figure out, what am I here for? Remind me, like, what am I doing here? Because it can seem like, what the fuck am I here for? Like, God damn. And it can be so, and to me, it's so much about, you know, it's, okay. It's like, kind of like your soul knitting a sweater, and you can't skip certain things. Otherwise it creates a hole. And so it's like one lesson leads to another lesson that leads to another lesson that leads to another lesson that leads to another lesson. And it just goes and goes and goes and goes. And it's the creation, like, of, you know, knitting a sweater. And so you are here, you know, because you don't want to leave a hole in your sweater. So you want to, you know, take every opportunity to fill in the gaps. So as a soul, hold on, gosh dang it. So you want to fill in the gaps of, so, and as a soul, you don't have fear because you know you're eternal. You know your power, and this is all an illusion. And it's just like, to me, what always comes across is this thing about virtual reality, virtual games, where people put on a thing, like an eye cover thing, whatever those things are called, a headset or something. But they put on these big, and they've shown this in movies and stuff, but like you put on this thing and then you go into that world and it feels like it's really real. And you're going around in this world doing things. And it's like you forgot that you're sitting here with the big thing on. And you're so caught up in the world that you're in that you don't even remember that you're sitting in there with the goggles on. And so that's kind of where we're at right now, is this remembering like, oh, wait a minute, this is a virtual world. This isn't real. All I got to do is take the glasses off and I'm back home. So, but that's the distraction that they create, so much chaos and distraction that it keeps you from being able to connect to yourself, and it keeps you going it's like this hostile environment of survival. And so you don't have, we don't take enough time for ourselves to sit there and be like, oh, wait a minute, who's not talking to me? Oh, how's this? Where's this voice coming from? Who are you? To realize like, oh, it's the guy on the couch with the goggles. He's telling you. It's like, oh, I got to get back home. And so you get caught up in the virtual world. And so many people, and then they give storylines, like, because religion is so caught up in the virtual world, as far as I'm concerned. Even when I hear these people like, well, I understand there's a spiritual world. There's demons and there's angels. Well, if there's demons and angels, then what the fuck are we? It's like, you got to think bigger. You got to think a lot bigger. Like, you can't be limited in your broadcast of thinking. You got to be big. You got to go big. And there's all things. And being able to go down and label things. Oh, it's an angel. That's a devil. It is limitation. Labels are limitation. And so they create all this distraction to keep us from, re-entering the entry point, the portal home. But you can connect into the voice that is speaking to you, but you have to, like I've said, it's a lot of noise out there. And some people go so big that they think a God's talking to them. There's a God, and God's talking to me. It's like, it's really the guy on the couch with the goggles on. It's you. And so you got to reconnect to yourself is what it is. And then remembering that this isn't real. This is a virtual world, and that you don't get hurt in it. You don't die in it. I mean, you leave the storyline. What? I'm doing this. Grumbles? I'm right here. This is Grumble. And so anyways, and your legs hurt. And she's having lots of aches and pains. Their arthritis or something. I'll give you some more mess in just a minute, honey. I didn't put some, because I've been putting RSO in her food. And I didn't put any in her food this morning. So I was like, oh, she seems like she's doing pretty good. And even though I gave her some more of that yeast stuff today, because I had run out of the pills. I got to order some more of those pills. But I don't know. I mean, I keep on thinking maybe I can't smell it so much because my nose is really stopped up. But I feel like that she's smelling better. So, I don't know. I mean, when you get an older dog, you're definitely running into lots of issues because they've been poisoned for a long time, too. And all I want to do is get this fucking med beds, man. So, but also, you got to be able to stay in the present and enjoy the time you have, because you can't always be, I don't know, there's something about just enjoying the time we have and being present. And one thing too is like all these people who are losing track of time and, okay, I'll get your medicine. Hold on. I'll get my medicine and I'm gonna get my water, so hold on. Here. So let me think what I was saying. So, what was I saying about time? What was I saying about, oh yeah, okay. That when I first got my brain injury, that was one of the things that really got me, was I couldn't track time anymore. I was like lost. I was like, I couldn't tell the difference. Like in 20 minutes and 3 hours. And the clock just seemed to be just moving all on it. It just was like I couldn't. It was weird. And now, I'm seeing all these people having this issue, which, I'm still having like these things like where it's like, what? Today's Friday? Yesterday, that really threw me because I really thought yesterday was Wednesday. And I was like, how did I lose all yesterday? What was I doing? Did I not compute? And I was doing stuff, but the whole time I kept thinking it was Tuesday. How did I make Tuesday and then be Tuesday again? I don't even know. It could be just because I was being sick and whatever. I know time is being really hard to track. And it is going faster. And it is like, are you fucking kidding me? It's already Friday again? Jeez. It's like we're on hyperspeed of time. But but I think that the blending of it, it falling apart, let's see, when I had that happen at first, it was really difficult, especially because everybody else was like on time. And we weren't even, because I got my brain injury in 2009. Like we were ways out from everybody starting to wake up to things. I was very, very isolated in my experience. Nobody could understand what I was talking about and things. And, but it was like I don't know. It's like when they broke my brain, it broke a part of the connection into this world that they had created for us. And so, I swear to God, sometimes I feel like that something is always pushing her to distract me. So things started falling apart. And everybody else kept going, being on time. And time that, everything was on a clock. And no, I think even before that, and there was like I think seems like it was a trend or something where a lot of people were like, I'm not wearing a watch anymore. I'm not just going to be like gotta be this time. And I was one of those people who was like, fuck that watch shit. But then when I was a nurse, everything was about time and punctuality and everything. And you had to be on track and on time and all. It was like really intense. And so I went back on to the watch and was back on time. And then I got my brain injury because I was a nurse when I got my brain injury. And then time fell apart. So it was a big hole where I couldn't track it at all. And, I would just feel kind of lost. I would be in my own head a lot too. And so I was breaking free from their reality, basically, that they had created for us. And so I was like, and it was back because I went through a lot after the brain injury. I mean, it was 2009 when I got it, February. And then it was 2015 when I went into my dark night. So that was a lot of years of going through a lot of stuff. And then in number 4, which was a very impactful part of my journey, because it's when I finally, it was like my bottom. It was like when I reached my lowest point was with this person. And then it was reaching my lowest. Everything was being cut out of my life. And then it was like when they pulled the rug out from under me. It was like when they left me, and you'd already, done all these things, and trying to keep it, like, there's so many things, like, man, but some of the things that you put up with in relationships, it's just like, why? And so that's where I had to face It was like, why? You weren't happy. Why were you putting up with this? And another thing too you do is when you're miserable, your misery comes right out. And I was making him feel suicidal all the time. He was saying, like, I make him feel suicidal. And I was like, I make you feel suicidal? Like, jeez, you're the one who's drunk all the time. Like, what the fuck? You're the one who drives me insane. And so it's like that kind of torturous relationship. And so then when he left me, which, you know, good on him, you know, it was the best thing that happened to me, but for him to stand up for his own self and be like, you know, this isn't working. I'm out. Even though you pay for all I'm out. It's like, okay, see ya. But but it was a lot. It was a lot to process. And especially I was in a very insecure point of being with my brain injury and feeling very handicapped. And that's why, you know, it's been a big challenge for me to bring myself back through all of this healing. And then, when I was pushed off of that ride, I was like being pushed out of my cycles because I had been cycling since I was a kid, since Dickie, you know, and I couldn't put myself out there. I had to, you know, somebody had to come and put themselves out there to me. I couldn't put myself out there. And so then, so it was kind of like not going for what you wanted, taking what wanted you. And so but that started my whole cycle of what will you put up with? Why don't you just go learn how to love yourself? Why don't you gain some confidence here? You know, that was, I was going in a different direction and trying to find love through other people caring about me and thinking that that was the way to go, but I was wrong. And then, so once that my cycles ended in 2015, once I was pushed out and I actually stopped and I sat there broken and beat down and looking up and I could see my cycles. I could see, you know, I could see the injured me too. I could see myself, which I had to, you know, it gave me more compassion for myself. I saw myself so broken. And so that's what started my whole healing journey. So that was in 2015. That's when I went into the dark night. But so that was years after 09. In that period of time, in that point of that block of time, it was rough, man. And but then it started going more uphill. I started, you know, pulling myself back to me after my dark night. And that was the healing journey, going, you know, towards myself. And so then, but there was things I was already seeing because of the brain injury, like you know, time was off. I was already having all sorts of experiences too of, no, that was more in 2015 because I was thinking, no, I think that was more in 2015 when I started having all these weird experiences. 2015, 2016. So, I feel like I was a lot more lost between 09 and 15. And, but anyways, so, but, time was definitely someplace I was lost in. And I was just lost in my own little world. Like, you know, it was something that I would be complained about to me because I would just drift off. I would just go off and just be like you would lose me in a store. And then one thing too is I would panic because I couldn't find my way out. I would just, it was a really hard time, man. When you first get a brain injury, it can come in all different ways. Like you can have all different kinds of effects, but oh man, mine was rough. I know most people, because it was one thing that I had looked up to, and I kind of used it as ammunition too, because people don't like you as your new self. Like people, like they knew who you were before, but then all of a sudden you changed. And I kind of used it as ammunition. You know how many people, the majority of people who get a brain injury do themselves in because they can't take it. And I don't remember the stats now that I had looked it up. And And it was like nobody was having empathy or compassion for what I was going through, because I looked fine, I looked normal, and nobody can really understand where you're lost inside. And you're running into brick wall after brick wall. And so but so lots of people do themselves in, because it is hard. It is really hard. And there's a lot of components to it too. Just like, you don't find a lot of compassion with people because you look fine. What are you talking about? And then they get irritated and frustrated with you because you did this different, you did this wrong, why don't you see this? And then plus people are having conversations and you're trying to keep up and you can't even, like, what are y'all talking about? What? And everybody's sitting there laughing about something and you're like, what's funny? It's like you're just not in the same place as everybody else. So it's hard. It's a hard thing to go through. And, anything that you end up having that takes you out of your normal existence is hard. I'm not just saying, oh, brain injuries, that's the only hard thing. No, I'm sure getting amputations, losing your sight, losing your hearing, Jesus, I just saw a guy who got his face, I don't know, tore off or whatever. He was one of these face transplant people, and they were showing how great his turned out. But, all the different things that can happen to you, are going to, it turns your life upside down. So anyways, so there was things where I was already pulling out from this reality, and time was definitely one of them. But now, since I had that and I saw how it was like a separation from the reality, that's what I see, like with these people who are all kind of freaking about time. It's like that's our separation from this reality. And it's not like time is really doing something. It's we are pulling free from this concept that they've created for us. And so it's our souls are pulling out from this Truman Show world that they created for us. And so, which, this is so trippy. It just keeps coming in, like blasting into my brain. And, because I wanted to say this, and I'm going to share this guy's video, because the other day I had said, how it was so trippy in Thailand that it's 2569. It's like, they're 500 and something years ahead of us. Like, what happened in all that time? Like, what's going on over there? And so, how weird that is. And I was like, in Ethiopia, it's like 2012, but now I guess it's 2018. And so I'm like, I wonder how many other places are on different times. Like, it's curious to me. And somebody else thought the same thing. And so it's so trippy how we have these thoughts and they just radiate out into one another's brains, and then somebody takes action. So this guy took action and he went and looked it up of all these different places. We're not, nobody's on the same fucking thing. I mean, all over the place. Fucking even in Korea, it's like the year 114. And there's other ones that is like, they're all over the place. They're all over the place. I'm going to share the video where he shows. So I'll share it on here so you guys can see all the different places and all the different years that they're in. It's like right there too. It was already in my mind of all of us being in different realities. And it's just like, that's like a confirmation to me. It's like they're just all these different realities and they've been going for different periods of time. And there's this one that we're in America is very created. And I don't know how many different places, but there's other places that have been going longer or something. It's just like, it's all different. It's all different stuff. It's not that we're all just one big place in the different beings that are in these different places. Like you take China, which China, in Hong Kong, they just had that huge fire, which, they have everything like so space age and stuff, and they have a lot of high rises, and they have a lot of people. And You know, you would think, yeah, high rises would be dangerous. Well, they just had a huge fire, which is kind of like, well, if everything's made out of metal, what in the hell is burning like this? Like, how hot does it have to get to make metal start burning? Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. But anyways, a whole bunch of buildings burned down. A bunch of people are dead, and a bunch of people are missing. And so it was a huge crisis that just happened over there with this fire situation. But in some of these places, it seems to me that, like, you think of, like, people in China, that them being from a different space and time, and those explorers that came to this time area, this earth space, and then they came and they set up a settlement, and they started expanding and growing, and that they have been there for a long time. A lot of these ones have got these ancient stories and stuff. And even in the whole thing with China, with the wall of China, this is something that people started figuring out, because they always said that the Great Wall of China was so that they could protect themselves, but the wall is turned the other direction. It's turned so that it is to protect whoever was on the other side of the wall from China. So there has been these battles from throughout different periods of times with other beings and other spaces and other because that is also where there's a lot about this whole thing with Tartaria, where, you know, they have these other maps and stuff. But that's probably one reason why all the maps have got such a difference in the map things, because the yeah, it is like it's dimensional. It's like a dimensional kind of existence. It's not, you know, just a big old flat plane. And the which there's the whole thing too about the North Pole, and being like the entry point or something. It's almost like a portal into this existence, and it's like there's a hole, and then it has these branches coming out like this. There's a whole thing about the tree of life. Like, everything is so much different than what they've tried to tell us, and it is weird how we've bought on to so much of their storyline. But but everything is so much more magical. But so at whatever point in time that this Tartaria existed, and that they could have been there first, and it could have been the realm where there was giants and fairies and all that stuff, which they did do a show. There's a show on Prime. It has that Cara Delevingne, or however you say her name, and she's a fairy. And there's more people. I can't think of all the people, but but it was like that they all existed in their world, and then they were, you know, like the humans came and pushed them and imprisoned them and enslaved them or something, and conquered them or something. So you think of like the Tartaria being a more magical place, like where there was unicorns and fairies and but you think of fairies not being these or elves or whatever. They're just other beings from other places. So it was like a place where a lot of beings that they didn't fight each other. They made a happy place where a lot of different beings existed in the same realm. And so then this other group came, and they began to battle, and then they put up this big wall, say, to protect them from this one, like, this is our territory, that's your territory. And who knows how it went, but Tartaria obviously ended up being run down, because, you know, they try and hide that it even existed. But it wasn't the only place, because then they have all sorts of buildings around here that match the same kind of agriculture or architecture. And so so they must have been, you know, scattered around in different places. And then there's a whole thing with the giants too, being pushed back and pushed into the forests and stuff, and into the caves. And I think that I think that's why, you know, I think people go missing in the forest and stuff sometimes, because the giants just eat them. I think that there is still this like this hostility. Like they're hostile about this situation, and it's like this happened way before us. Like we would, I mean, who knows what we would do? I mean, if they're coming into a town and they're eating us, we probably would fight them. And you know, but maybe we could teach them to grow other things. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What I do know though is that with the change of vibration, the change of energy, we're going into a space and time where we're not eating each other. So that's not going to be something we're going to have to worry about. Last night, too, in the middle of the night, one of the times when I was awake, there was the coyotes out there. And it just was like, man, I don't know. I mean, I have like compassion and empathy for what they have to do to survive, but it is also, you know, it's just like we're changing into a new existence. But I guess that existence will continue. There's like this separation, though, is for those of us who like want to go back to Tartaria. We want to go back to a place where we all get along. We want to go back to a place where, you know, and a lot of people say Atlantis and stuff. A lot of people say, like, a lot of people are here from Atlantis and Lemuria and stuff. Maybe that's what, you know, Tartaria was, and then they just named it on the map or something. There's even maps now showing that Antarctica was a different name of a place, which Antarctica still has other places out there. We can't see them all and everything, because the vibration is different. But as we change our vibration and stuff, then it makes us be able to have more access points into those places. But those places are still out there and existing. And so it is, it's very much of like, you know, just as we can't access theirs because of our vibration, because of the cruelty and what we are, it's our attitude. It's how we treat each other. It's what we accept. And the violence and the division and the hatred and the lack of compassion is what keeps our vibration in this lower form. In order to break out of that, it's like what I'm always talking about. You know, you have to heal. You have to put yourself back together and let go of a lot of things in order to pull yourself into a place where you have compassion for everybody, love and acceptance for everybody, you know. Hold on. I feel like I need my tissue thing, but I can't find it. I don't know where it is. It doesn't have that much place to go. Oh, it's on the floor. So anyways, but that is our opportunity at this point in time, is the healing that we can do in order to move ourselves into higher vibrations, so that we can go and have more access points to be able to go and experience and travel through. And yeah, it's kind of like if you think of the knitting, you're knitting a sweater in your life after life after life. At this point in time, you're putting a design in it, and it's like a new kind of a new thing. It's a new existence. It's like going into a new pattern, and but the entry point is through you, and you can't fool yourself. You can't be hateful on the inside and then put a happy face on the outside. There's only one thing, and it's the truth. And so that's the only access point that you have, is to be real. I just saw a video where this girl said something which I think is so true. And she was saying, you know, that when you think about your healing and stuff, she said one of the big things is to realize, like, your parents are the same. They are stuck in their pain and trauma. And to be able to have compassion for them and see them as their injured child, and stop looking at them as, you know, a person who is hurting you or something. I think that is really important. But it is also that you got to be looking at everybody like that. You know, all of the which it makes it difficult when there's so much hate and violence and, you know, bitterness. And, you know, some people are really seem to be so wicked. And, but to really pull yourself out of the space of judgment on them and, you know, just see them as like they're in the midst of their journey and there's more to go for them, and most likely this isn't their jumping board into the higher realms. They're maybe just getting started on finding their way out, finding their way home, because those are the things that keep you trapped. The things that you can do in this realm is, you know, the trappings, like, and you have to be able to pull yourself free from that. Like, revenge is a really severe one. What was that? It was something I saw in a movie, or was it, what was that? Revenge was somebody that was focused on getting revenge. Focused on getting revenge. Oh, maybe it was the Umbrella Man movie. But when you focus on getting revenge, then you're keeping yourself in this lower state of mind. You're keeping yourself trapped in that state. You don't want to focus on getting revenge. The world has a natural order. It has a natural way of showing whoever does the things, it has a way of showing you what it is that you've done. And I don't know, I mean, you just think about like the life review, because you got to go in and experience it from each person who you interacted with, how you affected them. And so, you know, you're going to see yourself differently, and you're not going to be all caught up in the, you know, the vehicle and the emotions and stuff. You're going to be your orb self having to experience. And so there's no buffer. And then you see yourself in a different light, and you see how you affected others. And, but that's what all the lessons have to do with, is being able to, you know, pull yourself out of whatever it is that gets you to behave certain ways. But that's why you want to stop and look at yourself and be more real with yourself and honest with yourself and catch yourself in your, not be reactive. Because remember, being reactive is lower chakra. And when you just react to things and you don't stop and go, okay, I really feel this, but why do I feel this? What is this? Where's this coming from? What is it I want from this? What is it I want them to experience? You know, like you just stop and slow down. And so, and that will benefit you in order to not just be reactive, but to think things through. So you're not just in these like, bam, going back and forth with people and, you know, and getting even and showing them, you know, they're going to hurt you and you're going to hurt them. And so it's really bringing it back, you know, bringing it back home, bringing yourself back to self, and questioning yourself. So then, but the people who are stuck in those hateful things, see, they've got deep pain and suffering inside of them. They've got entanglements. They've got deep karmic ties in situations. And these things keep going. I mean, we see this tit for tat going on all the time. I mean, bet your ass when somebody is doing somebody in, there's something more to it. There's some more entanglements further back. If you were to go and open the book before and look at that life, and maybe the one before that and the one before that, you're going to see these things play out. That's why I feel like so many people could benefit from doing these past life regressions when they're stuck in these entanglements and they don't know, like, you know, and this person just pisses you off. There's something more deeper to it. And you can go in and get some kind of past life regression, and so you can look at it more clearly and see, so you can learn how to let go of this stuff, because it's what keeps you trapped. People keep themselves trapped. There's not something out there trapping you. You keep yourself trapped. What do you want me to do, honey? I'm sitting right here. What do you want me to do? What's bothering you? She's got her feet in between my legs and her face right here. I don't know. Okay. Where am I at? Okay. So anyways, I'm almost done. Okay. I'm almost done. Man, I'm getting a headache. Maybe there is like a really weird pressure coming into the, I know there's weird stuff going with the Schumann and stuff, and I know it affects them. I don't know what you want me to do. What is it? What is it, honey? What? You want outside? Do you need to go outside? Hold on. Ooh, look, it's light. So foggy, too. Oh, my God. It's so foggy. Every time when I open the door in the middle of the night, too, it's so motherfucking foggy out. That just carries more sickness as far as I'm concerned. Fucking bullshit, man. Everything's so fucking artificial. Everything is like an attack on us, I swear to God. Anyways, so that makes it where it's like, fucking have time speed up. Let's get the fuck out of this place. Like, goddamn. Which there's a whole bunch of stuff going with, the volcanoes, the earthquakes, and all that shit. I already said that they were talking about this mega quake, this, where they're saying both fault lines are going to go at once and stuff. And there's been a whole bunch of little earthquakes going. And I'm not sure if these are people recycling old stories or if there really is some big ones going by Russia and by Alaska. I'm not sure, because people go and find this old stuff and they just, but it kind of, at some point, it kind of feels like it's being done so that we don't go back to sleep. We don't just snooze on this shit that we see. Like, no, something's happening and it's going to keep going and going and going. Things are going to get more intense. Something big and very destructive is coming. And so it is to keep us more in preparation. So, I'm not going in there right now. I'm not even done with this. What are you talking about? God, she's a bottomless pit. Look, you gotta see her. Let's see if we can. She does not like to be on. She doesn't even like me to take pictures of her. It's so weird. Ever since she was little, and I try and take pictures of her and stuff, she just doesn't like it. Ruthie likes it. It's weird. It's like she wants to pose for him. It's so weird. Archie too. He likes getting pictures of himself. So, anyways, time speeding up, pulling us free from this realm, and then the realm going into, because it's going to be a lot of different places, a blast. Think of a blast happening, because this to me definitely seems like the Big Bang kind of situation. It's like a new thing. It's like a new thing is starting. It's like the lower vibration though. It's not like it's gonna blast through the higher vibrations. It's like it's going to blast out the lower vibrations. So it's like it's like a ticking time bomb we're in right now. It is, and then it's like this blast, but when a blast happens, you think of like everything scatters. And so that is like where we're going to scatter. We're going to go into different realities. And the, the choice one, where most people want to go is, heaven on earth. But you have to, like do your time to be able to get in there. You can't just enter it because it's available. You have to be able to get in with your vibration. It's like your access point is you. And it's so crazy because so many people who think they're so awake, but they're so divisive and hateful and that, and fearful. And then they think like they are going. It's like, I don't think you are. I don't know. I don't know what all's going to happen in order over the next, few weeks or months or whatever before, because like when these things happen and a whole bunch of people die, like say, the mega quake and a whole bunch of people die, and then more things will happen, more tsunami, there's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff. It's not gonna be just one place, it's gonna be a whole bunch of places. And then those people die. Then that isn't the splitting, I don't think, right then. There still is going to be a split after that, I think. I think that there's going to be, maybe that's the first shakeup. But it's like the worlds are going to keep pulling apart and pulling apart into the point where, all of a sudden you're in a place where everything is nice and smooth and everything is great, and you don't deal with all of the hardships of, the hatefulness and stuff. I don't know how exactly it's going to happen, because you would think, like, when all these people there'd be a bunch of people who would die, but I swear to God, it seems like that is still a part of the growth part. Like, some people will die so that they can go to the other side and reevaluate themselves and, work on pulling their vibration out. And then other people here who will suffer loss, then that will be to help them to be able to pull free out of the darker vibration and pull more into the light. And so it's way more of, it's all opportunities of healing to pull you out of this world that we're kind of stuck in. And that so it's like it's a God play out, but then then there's still a point of the separation, because there still has got to be this part where people, because there's so many people who don't see the truth or anything. So there's still this part where they've got to see the truth so that they can heal the wounds from the lies. And so to me, it still seems like that there's this part, this encountering the truth that brings about the big change. And that's the big change is when it begins to be, when heaven on earth, or this new earth, it's like it's got to go through this big trauma to really. It's like the slapping somebody when they're hysterical. It's like the world is hysterical, and it's like the universe is going to slap them to get them to stop and calm down and pay attention in a different way. And then that's going to be in regards to huge amounts of loss. And then when we start rebuilding, like I would think, like when we start rebuilding, people will be coming together. And so there will be places, towns, villages, little places that will start getting built up by people who are all on the same vibration. And so really cool places will start getting built that are really high vibration. And then people who are low vibration, they would go there and they would be too uncomfortable. They'd be like, fuck, I can't be around. Everybody's like fucking nice all the time. And I just, and you can't be your dickhead self. And so they'd be really uncomfortable. And their places will become more and more minimal and pushing them into, this self-discovery of becoming a better version of themselves. But then they're, and it can be just like how some of these people, they're going to prison for 100 years. And that becomes like, the way I see it is like, I don't see it as like, oh, well, we live over here and the prison's over there. I see it as like a separation of realities. The prison becomes its own reality and the city becomes its own reality. And so there's a separation, and they live in that reality for however long. Because there's also this thing about the consequences that are going to be from these certain crimes. So that's a big separation. That's like, oh, no, you're out. So it's going to be, I don't know. there's so many things that could go down, but it seems like, it's not going to just be like, oh, this big earthquake happens and all of a sudden we're in the age of Aquarius and we're all sitting around like, oh, everything's happy now. No, it's like a purging out of pain. There's a real hard point that comes, and that may be when the predictions in the Bible or something where they experience the tribulation, so it seems like when these bad things happen and people are really having to face really, really severe consequences and stuff, that is, that's our next point. That's like when we know that things are closing in, the separation is getting closer. But I don't think that is the separation. I think that is still the point where people are going to try and work on whatever their obstacles are in their journey and seeing things with clarity. So we'll see how it plays out. I mean, we have no choice but to see. But anyways, but that whole thing with the different times and stuff like that, I was like, see, it's all these different worlds, these different realities, and they're trying to pull us together, but like, we're not even on the same fucking time. Like, that is trippy as hell. It's so weird because here in America, where it's 2025, and it is not just like because that's how old we are. No, we're supposed to be 250 years old. And then there's more things showing the ancient parts of America. And then they just leave all this stuff out. They lie and they make up this whole other story about shit. It's just like these huge, huge lies. And it's just, everything is just this made up storyline. I'm like, yeah, I seriously don't even, it's like, let's start this one. Let's just tell them it's 20. We're going to label this one 1890. And we're going to bring these people out and, bring all these incubator babies, all these lab-made babies, and we're going to start this new world. And so, and there's this whole thing too going around now with, Jeffrey and his ranch, and, this, kind of like the same thing with the boys in Brazil, what I was talking about. Like, we're going to take these certain genes and we're going to just use them and make them over and over and over. And so research is being done by some people looking into this whole thing, and, the Fellers that rock and the Childs of the Rock, they're all involved in that. This stuff has been going for, like, that was 100 years ago that they were doing it too, because when you talk about the state fair, when they were doing it, and then they were doing it again. But that's the thing, is like, some of these beings are thousands of years old. They aren't just 100 years old or something. They are old, and they have figured out how to body swap and how to, but a lot of them have this charge that's, like they're creating their own little world. And so that they are, but that's what this is. That's what America, that they took this territory and then they started creating this world. But I really don't think like the 1800s and all that stuff. I think that it's like, I don't know, maybe they started at like in 1890 or something. I don't know. I just think there's way more deeper into these lies. I really feel like this whole state fair thing is made up. Okay, even when you look at the pictures, there's so many pictures that they show. And then why the hell, even the way the fashion changes and stuff, I don't know. There's just way too much. There's way too much. And then on some things, is it their introduction? Like, we're all riding horses, and then they go, well, let's introduce them to petroleum. Like, I don't know. It's just, this whole world is such a lie. And time is such a lie. And there's all different years all over the place. And I don't know. It'd be curious to, to go to some of these other places and live in those and see, what is the storyline here? Like, where did y'all's world start? What have they told you? They're just making up shit. It was one thing too, is when I first went to Spain, and they were saying Christopher Columbus never went to America. He came from here, and he never went to America. And we're like, what? That's not the story we're told. And then over in England, they're told like the Boston Tea Party was very different than what we were told. It's like we're all being told different stories. They don't want us talking to each other, which apparently this whole thing with different years and stuff, that the AI is trying to block it. They don't want us to know that everybody's living in different existences and different worlds and different realities or something. But anyways, it's part of the awakening. It's part of us all coming into like, oh, we're on this channel. This is the world that we're in. And we want to leave this one and we want to go to one that's better. And in order to get there, you got to learn how to love yourself. You got to learn how to love everybody. People you hate, you got to learn how to love them because you've got strong karmic ties to them. And so you got to learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody, and learn how to have the day you want to have, because it really is up to us. It's our state of consciousness and what it is we look at. And you want to stay stuck in fear and trauma and drama and feeling sorry for yourself, then that's you'll have more lives to learn like how to pull yourself free. So anyways, but we'll see what the offering is for this day here in America. Like, who knows what's going on everywhere else? It's all just a bunch of shenanigans. And so we'll see what goes on in each of our established areas. See what happens. Just use it to your benefit. Use it to your healing. And keep moving through with trying to find the best version of yourself. And remember, you're sitting there on the couch with the goggles on. Talk to them. You got to get through all the noise, but you got to get to the guy with the goggles. So anyways, but we'll see what this day brings us, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.